I set the 60 book goal for 2026, but fortunately, I think I'm going to pass that because if I'm going in the rhythm that I've been going with right now, probably I will pass because I'm having 20 plus books already done on my Goodreads challenge for 2026. And let's get into it for the second quarter of my reading goal. So, disclaimer, I haven't been reading at the end of March, beginning of April, because I was having like some health issues and some problems and some work rescheduling stuff, and I was dealing with a lot. And then I picked up a new hobby, and then I was like super into this hobby and getting new stuff for it, allocating some funds, actually doing it, getting into it, which is really great for your mental health. But this is going to be another video, so if you really like a video with like less doom scrolling, a cozy offline hobby or something like that, stay tuned for the video because that is going to come soon, and I'm going to talk about only that topic. When I'm telling you that I haven't been reading, it's like, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks and a half, and I felt so bad. And I didn't feel bad because I wasn't doing anything for the goal, because that's not what matters to me. I was like not being able to read. I just was dropping every page and every word. I was skipping lines. I was like couldn't focus because I had anything on the back of my mind, and I was like so stressed and so frustrated. And also I was frustrated with the situation as well, so I preferred to not read for 2 weeks and a half. But hey, I still managed to get done some of the books. So I started with the first audiobook, The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. It was the third audiobook in the series that we had, and we finished right at the start of the second quarter. And it was amazing. It was the best closure I ever got from a trilogy. I love that I got to experience everything like before the movie, because I was at a point very stuck about, should I watch the movie without reading the books? Should I read the books first? Should I watch the movie? Should I read the books? And I'm so glad I didn't, because I heard nasty shit that they butchered Enzo, that he's not Italian anymore, he's not speaking Italian. The boiling point that Millie had up until the conclusion of the first book, basically, because I don't want to literally spoil you the ending, they made her just a super annoyed bitch. That's it. They just made her an annoyed doll, and oh no, she's like very poor and she wants to be a doll, but then she's like super annoyed, and I was like, And also some of the things that were adding up to Millie's problems with the Winchesters, I can tell you that they are not in the movie. So I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to watch, but hey, thankfully it wasn't available for me only in the cinemas, and I wasn't going to the cinema in that period of time, so I don't regret it for not spending my money on a movie that probably I wouldn't enjoy. The second one, we listened to The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden. Now, just hold on. I know this is going to be a lot of Frida McFadden audiobooks in this video, because I'm mainly listening to thriller, and they just kept recommending me Frida McFadden. And what we listened to, they had amazing narrators. I love all of them. And the suspense was killing me, and I'm usually listening to audiobooks at work, so you're either going to see dark romances and thriller, but I promise you I also want to listen to another thriller authors audiobooks, but I just couldn't find them, and neither at discount, neither on deals. I didn't have credits because some of the books were like basically bought with my boyfriend's money, because we are sharing the audiobooks and we are listening to them together. So I wasn't kind of a premium person. And the Plus catalog, if you're listening to something from a catalog, I cannot listen with him because he cannot access them. But I'm super excited by Lisa Jewell to try anything from her, or Karen Slaughter, so just stay tuned for that as well, because probably in Q3 I'm just going to have some more diversion, I would say, for the audiobooks. Now, The Wife Upstairs. Basically, it's about a girl that is a caretaker, and she believes that she's going to be taking care of the husband's mom, of the dudes that basically hires her, and it's not. It's his wife. His wife is like very young, very pretty, or at least was pretty, and she has a brain damage kind of situation that she isn't really available to escape, and it's forever, it's permanent. And you would think that he did it because, you know, the specific kind of stuff that the spouse did it, the husband did it, the boyfriend did it, you know. When I'm telling you that the plot twist was amazing, but at the same time was surprising. And also the girl, I don't really remember her name, but she was really in love with her employee. You know, you're young, you're like having a good hot employee and whatever, just kind of the cliche thing. But she kind of got blindsided and also was blind to certain stuff, to certain red flags, but she got blindsided like big time. I was waiting with every chapter for something to happen to her to get blindsided or blind or something, because she was reading basically the journal of the brain damaged wife that the brain damage hinted to her that she should be reading about her husband, and the husband was like super sweet, super whatever, but like in the wife journal she basically didn't made it. It was like these two POVs in which the husband said, oh no, she's very jealous, she's always been like that, super overprotective, super controlling everything. But then on the other side in her journal, it was about him being super violent and being jealous and being weird, and him criticizing, oh, you bought this dress in this color, you know I hate the color, kind of like the Winchesters. And I can see right now the resemblance in between Andrew from the first book, The Housemaid. Oh wow, I can really see it, and I don't know how I didn't see it back then, but because it's like Andrew wanted Nina to only wear white, but also this dude from this book, I just cannot remember all of the names because we listen to so many audiobooks, and right now we are listening to another audiobook and I'm like, who was the girl and who was the dude? But like in The Wife Upstairs, also the guy has a thing with the white clothing. I can say that basically probably Frida McFadden in the first of her books didn't have enough inspiration, and she basically kind of drew them the same with some effects, but also with some things that were disturbing that kind of looked the same in between different characters from different books. But yeah, now that I'm thinking of it, there are a lot of stuff that are similar in between the dudes. Then I read Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas because this year I believe is Sarah J Maas's year, so we're getting into Throne of Glass and we're having a ton of fun. Then we are going to go into ACOTAR 6 and ACOTAR 7. I don't really know if I'm going to read ACOTAR 5, which is A Court of Silver Flames, Nesta's book, because I feel like I really want to go into the ACOTAR with like more writing experience like Sarah has. Although I'm having a blast in Throne of Glass, or I don't really know if I'm going to be able to put Throne of Glass down in order to read something else. So for reading, I'm mainly reading fantasy, and for audiobooks, I'm listening to something light, for example, that doesn't have complicated names, politics, or anything, that also allows me to do some mundane task at work, like thriller, dark romances, probably some light mystery thrillers that are more complicated or on the complicated side, but other than that, no, I don't believe so. But the Crown of Midnight review is going to be separate, so I'm just going to leave any comment up to that video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I'm doing a lot of gaming videos as well with Nintendo Switch 2, with Steam Deck, from Steam, from PC, and also more bookish videos with reviews, wrap-ups. I mean, yeah, the quarterly wrap-up that we are doing right now. And a lot of fun stuff. And actually on the fun offline hobbies, I will be covering some of the inexpensive hobbies that you can have in order for you to quit doom scrolling, or at least have something else rather than just reading for your doom scrolling, because that's really great. Then I listened to The Teacher by Frida McFadden, and when I'm telling you that Eve was my favorite character from that book, the narrator was amazing. She just made her voice just, oh my god, like I can picture this woman. I can picture this math teacher that she's like super cunning and super, not really hilarious at times, but she can also be hilarious, but like super witty and serious and with a strong composure. I just love her with every fiber in my being. And it's about kind of a forbidden romance in between a teacher and a student. But it's not like the kind of forbidden romance that you are hoping for because everything is like ancient age gap, like in fantasies, like someone has 20 plus years old and another has 500 years old. No, this one was the disturbing forbidden romance with an age gap that shouldn't be. No. And when I'm telling you that I wished karma to come for this man, for Eve's husband, because it's in every Frida book, it's either the dude that is shady or the girl. And in this book, we have again another shady dude. Oh my god. Nate is just one of the shadiest and most slimiest and also sleazy dudes, but it's not like sleazy like he's weird fat greasy dude. He's like sleazy in a way that he's a snail and like lets everything sticky in behind them. Oh my god, no, I just don't want to think about it. But you're just going to love the ending. You're just going to love the ending. At least for me, the ending. If the ending wasn't the way that I wanted, I literally stopped the audiobook and I told my boyfriend, you know what? If in this book, at the end, someone is going to die and it's not going to be this dude, or he's not going to prison or something, I'm just going to rate it 2 stars. And I didn't rate it 2 stars. I can tell you that. We are fine. We are completely fine. Then we had a short one for at least, I guess, 2 hours and 30 minutes on 1.2 speed. The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie, which was entangled, that's for sure. I'm not going to tell you anything because what can I describe to you for an audiobook that has 2 hours? So I better just skip this one and I'll just let you dive into it directly. Then we had another short one, another short audiobook, The Darkest Impulses by Lisa Unger, I believe is her name. And it was weird, to say the least, because at times I couldn't really understand where the plot was going. And in the other times it was like so horror and so complicated that I was like, what is happening? I understood, but I was like, what is happening? Shocked. And apparently it's from the Amazon short story collection and it's the first book, and there are like another 4 books in this collection that for the first time they are the continuation of this one. I didn't continue with the next ones because I kind of wanted to have something else, wanted to listen to something else, but I don't know, it was weird. And the ending, I didn't really understand it. I felt like it was a very question mark moment. You will take that as you want. Then we're having The Intruder by Frida Mofanen. Oh my god, The Intruder. So it was like the previous to the last one. So it was the one that I previously listened before this last one that I just finished, if that made sense. But it was something. It was mind-racking, was mind-scratching, because it was a parallel in between before and now. And now it's with Casey and before is with Ella. And there are 2 girls that are parallels, they are never meeting, it's just in 2 different timelines, and then at a moment of the middle of the book it swaps into Casey knowing more about her past, and you kind of made some connections that if you didn't pay attention you wouldn't make, because they were like super fast in between like 2 lines and then that's it. If you're probably reading it, it would be easier. Then Ella's parallel gets moved to another kid, which is again because I don't know, it was so strange. Strange, I think, is the best way to describe it, because I felt like you knew something about a book in the 50% of it, and then in the last, I don't know, probably 40% of it, the story shifts into a direction that you couldn't see. It's like driving in a fog and you're not seeing what's ahead of you, but you're like just hoping that there wouldn't be a car to hit you. And the plot twist kind of hit me. I mean, it didn't hurt, thankfully, but it hit me. And I was, what the fuck? Wait, who's who? Because you're so into it for 60, almost 60% of the book, that this is this and whatever, your parallels. And then there is another parallel, but kind of somehow makes sense because they met before and because they know each other and because they done something and because something is more entangled and more complicated that I could ever explain to you without spoiling you. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, hello? I was flabbergasted. Next, we're having a dark romance. And this was the last audiobook that I just finished. Oh my god. When I'm telling you, it was so funny. It was so witty. It was so, you know. And I was listening it at work and I was like this the entire time. What did he say? What did he stick? Where? Like, I was like this the entire time. And it's Game On by Navessa Allen. It's the third book into the Darkness trilogy, with the first one being Lights Out with Josh and Allie, the second one being Caught Up with Junior or Nico and Lauren, and the third one being with Tyler, or you know him as Theo, but I mean technically you know him as Tyler, but he goes by an aliases Theo, and you know that from the first chapter, so it's not a spoiler, okay? Don't shoot me. And we're having Stella, and Stella, it's not a sweet girl with a conventional job just like Allie has, like a nurse, or Lauren who goes to church and she's very from the church family. No, she's totally the opposite. She's having a tattoo parlor and she's full of piercings, she's full goth, she's like full-blown badass. And when I'm telling you that you would not expect that Tyler was a jock, wait. If you read Caught Up, no, actually, if you read Lights Out, you would know where Tyler is from. Just please tell me in the comments if you read it and where you know Tyler, because I had a revelation before the last 2 hours of the audiobook and I was like, no, wait, we knew Tyler, but he didn't have anything to say to anyone. Sure, he knew Allie, and Allie is like currently engaged to Josh and having like cats together and everything, but when I'm telling you, I was like the happiest that I knew Tyler, and I didn't know that Tyler was a jock. So yeah, it was kind of like the goth girl and the jock, and they're hating each other. They are hating each other for at least 75% of the book, and it's dragging and it's dragging and it's dragging. So basically, Tyler has this problem with rich people, and you know, right, Stella is from a rich family. They're kind of uniting their forces in order to take down the sketchy riches people from her family, the rich, you know, but it doesn't go well in the end. I mean, it goes well in the end for them because that's the point, right, for them to be together, but up until then it doesn't go well. And if only it wasn't Blake, like Stella's younger brother, oh my god, I just hate that child. I don't know how he's 20 and he's so oblivious to so many good things and so many bad things at the same time. Like, I don't know how you're 20 and you're like so reckless and so like, oh my god, I'm just going to do it without the help of mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy can buy everything. I mean, I appreciate his efforts, but he done everything wrong in the end. Thankfully, nothing was like that bad. They're still going to be together because everyone ends up together in a Navessa Allen book, and I just hope that she makes another trilogy or something because I ate this up. And Josh and Allie and Junior and Lauren, they're coming back. Sure, they're not coming back like necessarily, I don't know, talking or something, they're having lines, but Tyler talks with them and about them, and I was like, oh no, I love this. So yeah, I felt like the family was reuniting at the beginning of the book, because then they're not. I mean, Josh is mentioned again probably at 55% of the book, but then that's it. Josh and Allie mocking Tyler that who is Stella, and I was like, oh my god, that was so funny. I just love funny dark romance, and this trilogy is literally the embodiment of a funny dark romance, so I strongly recommend it to you. Then we're having something that I don't know if you know about me, but I previously owned the channel. I mean, I still have the channel, but it's inactive. I'm not posting on it or anything, but I had a YouTube channel about anime and and manga. If you're interested in anime and manga, let me know down in the comments below because I'm going to do some videos about it. But I read Boruto to Blue Vortex Volume 7, which are the chapters from 25 to 28, and then the Boruto to Blue Vortex Volume 8 to the chapters 29 from 32, in which I'm not going to spoil you. Probably I'm just going to talk in a video and kind of review the previous 2 chapters before the chapter that I'm reviewing. But basically it's with Boruto being after the time skip and everything, and with the bulbs and everything is kind of messed up. Sasuke is missing, Moegi is missing, a lot of people are missing, there are the claw marks. It's just a lot. If you're not really watching manga, you probably wouldn't know what the hell I just talked here. So this is why I'm going to do a separate video. And I would have had 27 books already done if I finished Heir of Fire, but I didn't in this quarter, so probably I wouldn't finish Throne of Glass this year. Probably I'm just going to finish it, I don't know, in January, February the next year, but I'm just enjoying it. I'm just taking my time. I'm just not planning on reading so that I would complete a goal or something. I'm just taking my time, just like I took with Zodiac Academy. And yeah, I'm having 26 books out of 60 completed, and I hope that I'm just going to stick to it, and I better do it, because if I'm sticking with this pace, even with 2 weeks and a half and 1 week-ish at the end of February was with reading, I will probably be able to finish everything by Christmas, I think. Because usually I'm like leaving 10-15 books or something, or it was the last 5 or 10 books up until Christmas, and then I was like in Christmas studio shutdown from work. I was able to read and I finished books, or I finished like shorter books or something to complete the goal. And then I also did extra books. I believe last year I did 63 books or 65. I have to check that. But this has been my Q2 reading wrap up, and I hope you're going to see me in the Q3 one, and stay tuned up until then. Happy reading! Bye bye!